Clark, Leader of the Greens.
Hear, hear.
My question is also to the Minister for Education. Minister, the report of the inquiry reveals a culture of cover-up within the Department of Education that persists to this day. That culture extended to the manner in which the findings of this inquiry were released by your government, with the summary tabled on the same day the ABC received the full document through Right to Information 6 months after it was received by the Department of Justice. In the government's response to the recommendations, Tasmanian parents and students are told it will take more than a year to implement 5 of the key recommendations designed to keep children and young people safe. Yet you said a short time ago the government will work as hard and swiftly as we can. Minister, why isn't the implementation an absolute and immediate priority, given the risks? Why the inertia? And why can't you as Minister ensure every recommendation is implemented, the systems and people to safeguard students are in place by the start of the next school year?
Exactly.
Honourable Minister for Education.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for her question. And I too, Mr Speaker, share the honourable member's passion in ensuring that these recommendations are implemented as swiftly as possible. Clearly, one of the key recommendations was the establishment of the Office of Safeguarding Children and Young People. That has happened. That happened immediately, Mr Speaker. And that office is leading the work to be able to implement these alongside the implementation of the recommendations from the Royal Commission, and indeed, Mr Speaker, at a point in time where I expect the government will see recommendations from the Commission of Inquiry. With regards to the process and the progress of this, the department has provided assurance that updates will be provided on their website so that people can stay fully informed. Ms O'Connor, I can absolutely assure you, through the creation of this role led by Ms Jack, the creation of this role and her office directly reporting to the Secretary, indeed embedded in the Office of the Secretary of the Department of Education, there is a commitment that these need to be embedded fully. And indeed, I look to the statement that was made yesterday by the Department of Education, which it said the Department of Education is committed to continuing to build previous improvements and embedding positive cultural change that will protect all our children. Ms O'Connor, I want to ensure that with these recommendations that, as you can appreciate, are complex to deliver over a system that is so large. We need, across our thousands of employees, to ensure that these are embedded fully. Children are going to Mr Speaker, ensure that this cultural change is embedded across our system, Mr Speaker, and that is what I will deliver.
Speaker, if you had any grace, you'd acknowledge the role we played in establishing this inquiry, Mr Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is again to the Minister for Education. Minister, the independent inquiry into the Tasmanian Department of Education's response to child sexual abuse contains damning evidence that claims of child sexual abuse by school staff are no longer reported to child safety authorities. The authors say, and I quote, "One example provided to us describes that when a graduate teacher made a report to their principal, the principal informed this teacher that the school no longer reported to Child Safety Services as CSS had not actioned or followed up any of the school's previous reports." Minister, you've known about this since June the 7th when this report landed on your desk. As you are also the Minister responsible for children, what specific steps have you taken to ensure that children at risk are no longer falling through the cracks because staff have given up on making formal reports about their welfare?
Great question.
Honourable Minister for Education.
There's just this.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for her question. It is incredibly important that, not just in our school systems but across our entire community, that Tasmanians feel confident to be able to come forward with reporting and with their stories. I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage all Tasmanians, in any setting at all, inside government institutions, outside, historic or current, to please come forward and share your stories. It is important, and Mr Speaker, I can assure people that when they come to us, we will take the
You're the
steps
Minister for
necessary,
both of
Mr
these
Speaker.
different areas.
With regards to the engagement with the Department of Communities, the Department of Education has commenced the development of an MOU with
How
the
does this
Department of
not
Communities.
happen?
The MOU, Mr Speaker, will be directed towards preventing and responding to sexual abuse in government schools and will include agreements on respective roles and responsibilities, information gathering, exchange and recording, and how outcomes for child complainants are to be monitored. Mr Speaker, there are challenges with sharing personal information, including statutory provisions.
There should be no challenge
and
with
I do
reporting
share the
suspected abuse of a child to child safety
frustrations of those in the
services.
community
Mr Speaker, this
about the uncertainty
gobsmacking.
that those limitations create about sharing information. But, Mr
This is
Speaker,
not about sharing
this
information,
is one of
it's
the
about
reasons
reporting
why.
abuse.
Please, I am trying to answer this for you, Ms White. This is why, as part of our election commitments, the Department of Communities Tasmania is currently conducting an extensive review of the Children, Young Persons and Their Families Act 1997. Among other matters that are all important, the review will consider the suitability of information sharing provisions within the Act and propose any further changes necessary. Mr Speaker, I want to make it really clear again that the reason that we have these recommendations that we are acting on is because this government commissioned this report.
What's happening right
Mr.
now is
Speaker,
child safety.
we are proud
clearly
that we
aren't
have
acting
commissioned it.
because they're under
We
resourced.
knew, Mr Speaker, in commissioning this report, as with commissioning the Commission of Inquiry, that there would be recommendations, and we wanted them, Mr Speaker, because we want to take every step possible to keep our children safe, Mr Speaker. I do not step back from that, Mr Speaker, and I stand here today providing that commitment to this House and the people of Tasmania that I will deliver on that commitment.